All right, well, welcome everybody. Today, we're going to talk about equity concepts and see examples from our California State University system colleagues when we talk about flexibility for equitable learning and teaching with respect to reviewing content, asking our students to review the materials in our course, the materials we create for our course, the lectures we deliver and record, all that good stuff. As I've done in the last sessions, if you weren't able to join us last year, we're building on the materials from last year rather than just repeating it. So if you haven't had time to go to the Canvas course and review those materials, watch those recordings, participate in those activities asynchronously, no worries. I'll just do a quick review right now, what I call a TLDR review. TLDR stands for too long didn't read, or in this case, because it's video, too long didn't review. So when we met last year for the Flexible Course Experience Institute, we talked about 3 different aspects of our course materials and flexibility. First, how do we create or find reusable, equivalent, flexible course materials? How do we support learners as they go through the content review process in a flexible course? And how do we manage the process, whether it be the online environment in the learning management system, whether it be live in a synchronous meeting like this Zoom meeting or something else? How do we juggle all of the pieces? So when we talked about creating or finding flexible content, we did describe something that we'll see in different principles like Universal Design for Learning, offer multiple formats to support students who might have accessibility accommodation needs or flexibility needs. And so you can produce other file types yourself. There's an example that I gave from Kansas State University. His name is Michael Wesch. He teaches anthropology, and he records himself reading the articles that he asks his students to read. But we know that not all of us have that time or energy to record our articles that we assign. So it's just as easy to tell students that, hey, there are plugins in our different tools like Google Chrome that will read the file for you. Text-to-speech tools will make it so that you don't have to record yourself reading it. The computer will do that for you. And there's also the capability of saving to your files as different types. Those campuses that use Blackboard Ally know that you can convert different files into different formats. And when you're recording things to Zoom, you can save them not only as a video recording, but an audio recording, a text transcript, so that students can review that content in the format that's easiest for them when they're on the go. Also, we know that when we create these multiple pieces of content, maybe repeating the same thing in different formats, we need to be better organized so that our students don't get lost in a sea of information. So we need to make sure we're organized. We need to make sure we're helping students see the connections between the materials that they're consuming and the outcomes for our course or for that particular lesson or module. And by using consistent naming conventions, we support students in being able to find things. For example, you'll see that I use 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and that's my way of letting you all know those are 3 different parts of the 4th module in this series. And so you can find everything that's tagged with a 4.1 or a 4.2 or a 4.3. They're all grouped together in the alphabetical ordering, the numeric ordering in our files and also on websites. When it comes to supporting students with reviewing content in flexible courses, it's important to create clear expectations. What do we want them to review? How should they review it? And that how can also include prompts that provide strategies for students who may not be accustomed to reviewing content at the college level. They might be coming straight from high school where different expectations exist. So we can provide skeletal notes, or we can give them questions to answer as they go through a body of text, or we can encourage them to answer the practice questions at the end of the chemistry or biology or physics textbook. and so on. We can also prepare students to evaluate the content that we assign them to review that's on the web, so that they know they can be checking for validity, reliability, bias, and all those other things that can get in the way of students understanding the material, but also having the material be correct. Last, when we're supporting students, we can foster student-to-student interaction as part of the content review process. When we talked about assessment, we talked about peer review. When we talked about engagement, students are interacting with one another in a variety of activities. Content review is no different. We can use tools that offer capabilities for collaborative content review. Maybe annotation tools like Hypothesis or eMargin. There's also audio annotation tools like SoundCloud, where we can listen to audio clips and annotate them with audio or text-based notes. Another tool that does this well is called VoiceThread. And then when we get to video, Video Ant and Classroom Salon are also tools that we can use to help students work through content together. Not everybody is as excited about or motivated to learn on their own. And so giving students the opportunity to learn amongst their peers is a powerful way to support them. Last, how do we manage all these materials? Well, we know from the beginning, one of the principles from flexible course design that we're going to adopt is reusability. And so finding ways to reuse the content that you and or your students generate include things like pre-recording tutorials that you can use over and over again throughout the semester as you help students use specific tools for specific learning tasks. We can also record live lectures. Seems pretty simple, but this is obviously only if asynchronous options are available to the students. I know some of you are using what are called co-synchronous courses, where you have roomers and Zoomers in the live real-time setting, but you don't have asynchronous options, and that's okay. That's the type of flexibility that you and or your campus are providing. Another example is taking a chat like the one that we're producing in this Zoom session right now and turning it into a Google Doc so that asynchronous students can participate in the chat, can see what happened without having to dive into the depths of a Zoom recording, and also pose questions and be part of the process. Another principle that we're borrowing under flexible course design is accessibility. And so we're going to hear from one or maybe even two speakers today presenting examples from around the system that relate to accessibility, but we definitely want to make sure that we're making our materials accessible for students with different accommodation needs, sharing accessibility practices with students. So if we're using tools like Flipgrid, we're telling them how to correct the automated captions before they post the videos, and making sure that we are familiar with how we work with the American Sign Language interpreters or real-time captioners who might be assisting if there's an accommodation need in a live meeting like this one. Last, we need to think about what our students' needs might be. So in a flexible course environment, we might need to repeat questions that are posed in the classroom so that the students online can hear them. We might need to repeat chat questions that are in print so that the students in the classroom know what they are if they don't have a device, and so on. We also know that the audio and visual elements that we've been talking about throughout this series present some different challenges. And so when we're creating materials in those formats, we need to consider all the different things that come into play. So those are just a few thoughts and really just a brief summary of what we covered last year. But I encourage you to go back. Maybe now you have some ideas of some areas where you want to focus. You can jump right into those clips without having to watch the whole thing. So now I'm going to stop my presentation and we're going to jump into some equity concepts before I pass the talking stick over to Cal State colleagues from around the system.